What's up, YouTube? I needed to come in here and do a recap video on Southern Illinois' Strongest 2 competition. Did this competition August 3rd. It's currently November 7th or 8th, I believe. I've done a recap video on every strongman competition that I've done, if you want to look at them in the past. And I haven't done one on this yet. I usually do them right after the competition, but I thought, let's give this one a little time. Let's take a little different take at this one. Give time to think about what all happened instead of just being so fresh. We'll see if that's good or bad. But August 3rd, Southern Illinois Strongest 2. I competed in the open heavyweight category. Weighed in at 230 something, the 275 weight class. Like I've been doing of recent, I've been competing in the heavyweight category unless I'm doing what I consider a serious competition. Then I'll compete at either 220 or in the 231 class for strongman court. I just like the heavier weights. I like the little bit stiffer competition, and it's been fun to not worry about being under, say, 220. So I weighed in at like 230, maybe 234, 236 for this competition, something like that. Wasn't very many people in the heavyweight category. There were 4 competitors. I knew one for sure, Benjamin Model. And when I let him know I was coming, he was like, "Oh, it's on." So we kind of battled against each other even before the competition started. So he's one of the best in the nation for sure. So I knew it would be a battle with him. And then the other 2 competitors, I didn't really know anything about. So in my mind, I'm knowing, well, if I can beat Ben, I can win this competition. And I also beat Ben at the last competition, Southern Illinois Strongest, the first year they had it. And I've placed higher than him in a previous competition that we were in together. So let's get it laid out. Axle deadlift for reps, 580 pounds. My goal going into this was to come in second place. Ben's one of the best deadlifters in the country, and my goal was to come right behind him in this event. And I ended up pulling 4 reps, 580 pounds, axle deadlift. That was 3rd place out of the 4 competitors. So one of the competitors pulled 5, Ben pulled 10 to win it. So it didn't start off on the greatest foot there. I needed to be right behind Ben on this event in order to overtake him. You know, you kind of lay everything out before the competition starts, and you're like, okay, I need to get, first place in this event. This event's not as good for me, but if I get second, I'll get this many points. So I kind of got it all laid out. I need to get second place on axle deadlift. I got 3rd place. 4 reps, which was a PR actually with the axle deadlift. I got the number 4 and I called it right there with time still on. That was a mistake, and I know this going forward. If there's still time on the clock, and you can see my 4th rep when I show it here in a minute, I might have had number 5, I might not have, but I've got to go for that. And the problem is going into this competition, 3 reps was my target. So when I hit number 4, I was happy that I hit it, and I was like, okay, that's probably going to be good enough. But that's the problem with not knowing the other competitors. You just don't know for sure. So when in doubt, when not in doubt, always go to the limit. Unless you're the last guy that gets to go and you don't have to go to the limit. So, event number 2, axle clean and press, every rep, 75 seconds, 270 pounds. Pressing is one of my favorite things. My goal going into this is first place, without a doubt. I'm not as good with the clean every rep. My clean is the limiting factor for the press. So I would rather do a clean and press away, but it's clean and press every rep, 270 pounds. 6 reps is what I got, which was good. So I hit what I hit 7 in training one time. I hit 6 consistently, middle of the road, and then on a bad training day when it wasn't there, I got 5 every time. So I knew going in, I was like, 5 is the least, 6 should be, for sure, and 7, you have hit it and you can hit it. And when I hit number 7 in training, I had that window of opportunity for there to be an 8th rep. So I knew if I peaked right and everything dialed in perfect, there's a chance to hit 8, but that was a stretch. So 7 is what I really, really wanted in the comp. You'll see in the video, there's a little mishap on one of the cleans where I had to kind of dip down underneath it. Took a little more energy than it should have. Should have put more effort into one of those cleans on like rep number 5. I failed one of the reps. I don't remember what it was, number 5 maybe, or number 6. I failed the rep and then, put it back down and had to take a step back and gather myself again and then go back up there within the allotted time. It was 75 seconds. And then I got the rep. I think that might have been number 6 to get it. But 6 was happy. And if that would have been a good, perfect run, we could have done 7. But the problem with doing 6 in this event is it tied second place. Ben got to go last on every event, I believe anyways. But Ben got to go after everybody. So I hit 6 reps. Another guy hit 6 reps. Ben came out and got 7 reps. That was big for him. But when I tied second place, then I split points, which cost me points. So Ben won the first event. Now he's won the second event. I get 3rd place. That drops me a couple points. And then I tie for 2nd, and that drops me more points than it should have. So I'm kind of digging myself a hole here. And I don't like the fact that I'm digging myself a hole, but at the same time, I'm looking at the events. I'm seeing how they're going. I hit a PR on the axle deadlift for reps. I hit what I basically expected to hit on the axle clean and press. Could the axle clean and press have been better? Possibly by a rep. It just wasn't on the day. So I'm pretty happy with both of those events, even with, taking a 3rd and tying for 2nd.
All right, let's hear for these athletes. We can 270 very easily. All right, I think 30 seconds. Let's go.
into the third event. Now this is a Zercher carry for max distance. You set the yoke up and you get underneath it in a Zercher style pickup and you carry the yoke 30 or 40 feet. You sit it down, you go to the other side of the yoke, you pick it up, you carry it back, and you keep going for 60 seconds until you can't go anymore, or until you drop the yoke. If you drop the yoke inside the bounds, you're out. So you can drop it on the ends, but you can't drop it in the middle. So it's 400 pounds in the arms carrying. I've been good in training the last 2 weeks for 210 feet. So I expected 200 to 250 feet at the competition. I'm pretty quick when it comes to moving events. Moving events is usually where I pick up, good points. I hit 182 feet, and here's my mistake. Here's my mistake on the Zercher. I didn't run out of gas. I didn't run out of strength. I ran out of time. So what I did is I carried the yoke down, and then I would go around the yoke and pick the yoke back up and carry it, back down to the other side, go around the yoke, pick it back up. And every time going around that yoke, you're looking at, let's call it 2 seconds. Maybe it's a second and a half, whatever. Let's call it 2 seconds. Well, I think I made 6 trips back and forth. So you're looking at 10 seconds of wasted time from going around the yoke. Where when some of the other guys went, they would carry the yoke down and then they dip under the bar, turn around, and pick it right back up. Where it was taking them half a second, it was taking me a second and a half to 2 seconds. I don't know. I looked at that in training, and to be honest with you, I just didn't think it was going to be a factor. I looked at, which I wasn't taking my time walking around the yoke. I got around it and picked it up. But I looked at that as, just a little quick and then go, instead of sit it down, dip under the yoke, maybe hit your head on the yoke, and then turn around and pick it right back up. But dipping under the yoke was faster, and I could have made another trip. I could have got the 210 feet if I hadn't wasted the time, going around the yoke, if I'd have went under the yoke. 210 feet is what won the event, and I believe Ben won that event. I got second place in that event, and Ben won the third event. Fourth event, keg over bar. Something I've always been good at. Sandbag, keg, stone, whatever. Over bar, do it again, do it again, do it again. You got 75 seconds, do it as many times as you can. It's 270-pound keg, which is pretty heavy. I've done a 300-pound stone over bar. The stone's not bad to me. I don't feel like Stone's decent. Sandbags feel better. Something about a keg. Something about a keg to me feels heavier. It's definitely bulky, you know, cumbersome, however you want to put that. But it's still a good event regardless. I did 10 reps, and this is another one where I kind of messed up, as in the deadlift. There was 5 seconds left when I put the 10th one over, and I should have went for number 11. But before I, in training and before I went out there, 10 was my goal. And 10 in my head, I was thinking, none of these other guys, I don't think, will have the engine to just keep going nonstop and eke out 10. Typically there's the guys who do 4 and 5 reps, and then when the keg rolls back to them, they're standing up straight, and then there's catching the breath, or they pick it up and they sit it in their lap, and then they sit down there in their lap for 4 or 5 seconds. But you can't count on what other people are going to do. I should have went for that number 11 rep, and that would have ended up tying me for first place, because Ben got number 11 after he seen me and another guy got 10. So I tied for second place on the 4th event, which cost me some more points, tying for second instead of getting second, flat out. And then I should have, like I said, I had 5 seconds. You go back, and I didn't think much about it. But my wife and my mom were at the competition, and once I came off the stage, they was like, "Why didn't you do that last rep? You still had 5 seconds or whatever." And I was like, I hit number 10, and when the keg rode back to me, the guy said 5 seconds, and I was just like, I ain't got time to get it. You do have time to get that rep with 5 seconds, picking up a keg and just throwing it over a bar. Because I looked at it, and I looked at the film of me doing that, and I was like, I definitely had time when you watch the reps to get that number 11. So that's another one of them. Back to playing ball as a kid. Play till the whistle blows. That's lessons learned. Lessons learned right there. You have to do that unless you're that last guy and this is the winning number. You have to put out that last effort, or you can't think this right here is going to be good enough, because you don't know that. So that's a lot of what I took out of this competition, with those 2 events in particularly, the deadlift and the keg. I left a rep on each of those, and I don't like that. It don't feel good to me leaving that out there, knowing that I left it out there. When I did it on the deadlift, I knew it, and I say I knew it. I might not have got number 5 on the deadlift, but I knew. I mean, there was still like 20 seconds left, probably. Like, I could have tried. I didn't even try. I just got 4, and I was like, that's good. I should have at least tried. Number 5 might have been there, it might not. On the keg over bar, when he said 5 seconds, I was like, hey, I ain't got time to pick it up and do number 11. I just called it right there at 10. Plus, in my mind, 10 was the number I wanted. So when I hit number 10, I was thinking, good, So, lessons learned.
All right, guys, here's for Samus to move this keg over. He's put on a limit for that.
Last event, Hercules hold. You just hold on to these two pillars that are trying to pull you apart as long as you can. I held on to them for 56 seconds. I think they say this was like 220 pounds or something like that in each hand, pulling you apart. Third place on it. Grip's never been my greatest event. Not not that I'm bad at it or anything, but the guy like Ben who was there, like on the deadlift, he's also got one of the best grips in the nation, and I knew that going in. And he got a minute 10 to win the event. So my plan going in didn't plan out. Ben won every event. Ben won the competition. Um, I came in second place. He won it hands down. Like I said, he won every event. And then I got some second places, tied second place, and a third place on some events. So, second place at Southern Illinois Strongest 2. So now me and Ben, at the end of the competition, we probably have to go back next year and hash it out again because I won the first year, he won the second year. So now we're tied at Southern Illinois Strongest. So if I'm healthy, he's healthy, we'll probably go back and run it back and see what happens again. But overall, I love this competition right here. Jake Curry and his buddies up there in Illinois put on this competition. I think it's in Benton, Illinois. Don't quote me. Maybe this Civic. I'm not sure what center it is, but it's like a big movie theater. We're up on a stage. There's plenty of seating out in the crowd. There's tables for your family to sit around. There's food being served. It's indoors. It's climate controlled. The athletes have their own area back here to themselves for changing. There's a room for warm-ups, and it's a very good location. They keep the contest competitors down to I want to say 60 competitors total, and that works great for how big the venue is. If they tried to run 100 and then had all those extra people in the crowd plus on the stage, it'd be crowded and people probably wouldn't like it. But at the cap that they have it at, it's probably it's my favorite location to compete right now that I've been to. There are other competitions that I have maybe enjoyed more because of the competition that's at those competitions, or just maybe different events or whatever. But location wise, and just the feel, the atmosphere, what they got going on up there at Southern Illinois Strongest, it's just a perfect location. So this is my 11th competition in the books. Second place, Southern Illinois Strongest 2. Appreciate y'all watching.